Working, and we are now live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the OGL Podcast number 48. I do apologize for the constant name changing, rescheduling, things like that, but here goes anyway. Um, Today, we may or may not have Triforce Johnson and C&D stopping by for, just a quick moment. But in case they can't, due to them being busy and having other obligations, we understand, but they may stop by. But for now, let me introduce my panel of bastards here, starting with Andre.
What's good? This is Andre, Jewel Archon of Jewel Archon Gaming. I'm excited about tonight or today, a nighttime cast, but definitely excited about today. Hopefully, we do get an opportunity to definitely want to see what's going on in the real world. So with that, I'll turn it over.
All right, Mr. Red Fox.
Yo, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, the owner, proprietor, blah, 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 the guy who started BS Busters. And I'm here just to talk a little bit about our favorite weird, inspiring, odd video game company.
All right, and Shep.
I'm just here because Dr. Feelgood said to come here, and he is good and I'm good, so therefore we need to keep it all good.
What the hell, man?
I'm being facetious. Hey, it's a good shepherd. We're here to enjoy our hobby because everybody here probably loves gaming as a hobby. So let's get into this. Let's learn a little bit more about the Switch and just have an interesting conversation. Hopefully we'll be enlightened by this theme Triforce and CND. If not, that's fine. It should still be a good combo.
All right. And if anyone didn't notice, Gilligan Stash was here, but he's actually going to the meetup with, I think, Triforce and C&D at the Nintendo World Store in New York. So, and he's actually one of the ones that set up this little, Triforce and C&D jumping by the OGL. So, hey, be sure you guys check him out. He may be back, he may not, but yeah. But anyway, before we started this cast, we were rambling for about a good
almost an hour.
About 45 minutes or so.
Almost an hour.
But we were rambling about, the current BS and, all the hype surrounding the Switch. And we'll just basically continue where we left off or just re-mention some of that crap. But, there's still people, really. You had to do that.
Had to crack a knuckle, man. Had to crack a knuckle.
But
anyway.
I did buy Imagine Dragon Believer. That's my anthem. I play that every morning before I go on my run. I'm dead serious.
But, you still have the naysayers out there complaining about the Switch launch lineup of games. Now you have new people complaining that, that they're mad because Virtual Console won't be there. Don't act as though that your system of choice or even the Wii U had the full-fledged Virtual Console at launch. Let's not pretend that's something that's been going on for the last 4 generations because it has not. To me, it's no different than complaining about backwards compatibility. Your system of choice still doesn't have it. So why are you bitching now that something like Virtual Console is not there at launch, especially when it's launching with more than likely the greatest game of all time? You mean to tell me when Zelda drops on March 3rd that you're more concerned with, so I can't play my SNES games?
Yes,
Let's be real. I love the SNES. I still have the original SNES console. I have a ton of games on my Wii Virtual Console and my Wii U. But even still, when I buy a new game, the first thing that comes to mind is not, oh, well, let me go play these old games first before I drop into this brand new experience Nintendo's offering. No, that's not the case. So I'm not going to pretend that it is the case. So you guys bitching about that, I need you to really, really calm down. What do you guys thought about this?
Look, I have a series of videos on my channel called "I Want to Give You My Money," but like Nintendo, I want to give you my money. I've already dropped almost $500 at this point on the Switch, and I want to give you more money, but you're precluding me from giving you more money. What's wrong with you? What What's wrong with you, man? You're like it's like me sitting here wanting to buy something from someone, and I've got a handful of money. I'm like, here, oh, we don't offer that service. What's wrong with you? I want to give you money for goods and services rendered, and you don't have the service. What's wrong with you? That's how I feel. But I mean, I can understand why some people would. I mean, that's not the major thing. The worst problem would be if they had the issue of the Sony PS4, where a system comes out with very few games, like main titles on the console day one. That's a problem, but this is not the case. There's some good games coming out day one. So,
all right. What about you, Andre?
Well, I mean, bottom line, I feel like there's a method to the madness. A lot of people have praised Nintendo as of late, as far as advertisement, as far as promotion, everything leading up to the launch of the Nintendo Switch. And I think a lot of criticism, I don't know, hindsight criticism, it's almost as if they're criticizing, they're trying to catch up on the criticism of Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch, even though it's not necessarily warranted. Case in point, a lot of people, they, for whatever reason, just hated the Wii U, and over when it's not really, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I can see that.
As far as virtual console is concerned, it's not necessary to have a virtual console on day one.
No.
It's filling holes where you don't have other things to play. There's plenty to play. In fact, there are more games on launch day as of yesterday than there were the day before. Right? They announced 2 games yesterday that instead of just being March, they are launch day.
Yeah, I think it's Fast Remix, and I think it's also Shovel Knight as well as Super Clips.
So that's three additional games on top of the 5 or 6 that were already there. Everybody's not going to play every single launch game on the first day.
That is true.
I'm going to put in this for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to start this for 5 minutes, and just to see how all of them play. There might be some people that do that, but most people, number one, you have a console that's dropping in March. It's not dropping at Christmas. Having a ton of games on launch day is counterproductive, and Nintendo understands that. But when you have a handful of games on day one, a couple games that are coming out after that, the month after that you have a few games that are coming out, the month after that you have a few more games that are coming out, you're going to have a lot of games to play regardless of when you pick them up. You don't have to pick up the game the day that they launch in order for you to be able to get them.
And to me, and on top of that, I like to add to that when you offer a whole bunch of old stuff that's been out on previous consoles, previous generations, you get the same stigma that the Xbox One and PS4 are getting right now. Are these 8th generation consoles, or are they basically, just a way to play
7.5 upgrades?
Exactly. It's like, so at that point, to me, I see the point of it not being there because you want to keep the focus on what you can only play on Switch. So games you can only play on Switch, games that Nintendo wants to promote, whether it be new IPs or whatever, you don't want to dumb that down or risk taking away that attention because people could, let's be honest, the typical gamer of today, if they had a choice between playing, I'm going to throw a game out there, if they had a choice between playing 1-for-101, which is a new IP, versus playing a remastered game from last generation, what are they going to choose?
You mean Infinite Warfare? Infinite Warfare.
they're going to choose that game they're familiar with because the new one is like, it looks kind of interesting, but
that's what bugs me up. They want different, but then when different shows up, they want the same.
Exactly. So I bet, and I'm pretty sure Nintendo has noticed that. So they say, you know what? Let's be sure that the games that are coming out for the Switch that we're making, they're strictly for the Switch, they have the most attention. So when we launch a virtual console, that is a great backup and a way to add to your library, but we're not taking away attention. We're not giving people a new game for our new system, but then saying, well, here's a whole bunch of old games you can play too. It's like, no, we want to keep them focused on the new games, because when you invest in a new system, it's not just a couple $1 million. That's hundreds of millions of dollars in R&D and and shit like that. And having to make it like it's a lot of money.
Let's clarify. You're right and you're wrong. Back in the day, there'd be hundreds of millions of dollars of GMV. That's the whole point of a dead kit, etc. But it does cost a lot of money because you got to create the game, you got to promote the game, and then you actually got to put the game out there.
Well, I'm talking about the system as well. The system itself.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Then you are correct. Continue. By the way, I missed it, so I'm gonna give props to our official leader, Quan Manchu. All right, continue.
Oh, what's up, Quan and Kenoshi?
Hey, how's it doing?
What's up? Hello.
Go ahead and give me intros, guys.
Well, my name's Kenoshi Abominito. I don't really have anything else to
How dare you jump in front of Quan Manchu, you bastard? Continue.
That's right, man. When there's food, I'm the first one to cut in line.
My apologies.
And yo, Quan Manchu, whatever's clever.
Yeah. Well, this is Quan Manchu just hanging out as usual. So how's everybody doing?
Pretty good, man.
How's it going, Quan?
Doing a lot better than I was recently.
Oh, that's good.
And I had
How do you feel about Scotch? Because
hey, you supposed to come over here and bring the drinks, man. So I don't know when that's gonna be. You coming next week or what?
for sure. I'm aiming at Tuesday.
Okay, cool. Tuesday would be perfect. You know what then we can do? We can go to this buffet I know about.
I'm with it.
I'm
Probably
telling you
about
right
11, 12 o'clock.
Check this out. Hibachi.
Nice.
Oh God, Jesus, making me hungry.
Maybe we can drag Ricky into this.
We're gonna go there drunk, and we're gonna go there to get well fed.
Yeah, well,
Hey, do not promote alcoholism within our gaming community, regardless of it being true or not.
But I'll tell you this much: I'll promote good food. Yeah, and stop it up at that hibachi buffet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I think DrFeelGood posted an article earlier this week where he basically, this Forbes article where this guy spent like a good three parts of the article. He's like crapping on the Wii U. He's like, but the Switch is so much better. And I'm like, the whole time I'm laughing because I'm like, you do realize that the Switch is essentially like the next gen Wii U, right?
Yeah, it's the upgrade of Wii U.
The only thing is,
if you're not paying attention to that, then clearly you're not paying attention to games.
It basically it's based off screen, off TV, gameplay, except for portable.
Exactly.
Portable. That's all it is. I mean, if you look at it, yeah.
I mean, it's like if you went to a restaurant and someone said this steak is undercooked and I want it cooked. I want a different steak entirely. And it's just like, yeah, let me see that. And they took the steak. They took the steak into the kitchen.
They put it 10 seconds.
Yeah, they put it under the broiler for like 10 seconds and flipped it over for another 10 seconds. Put it back on the plate. Brought it back out. Yeah, this is a new cut of steak. And someone's like, this is the best steak I've ever had. It's like you're literally getting the same thing you had before, except it's been slightly more refined.
Don't say that because that might hurt the sales of the Switch.
No, but listen, the Switch is actually.
We're in the dude bros, even though we may not always agree with them. Money matters for the gaming industry.
Oh yeah, Lord,
that's right.
Anywho, as far as this whole thing with the 1.5 gen, like 0.5 consoles and all this other stuff, I mean, if people want to sit up here and be taken in on that, more power to them. I would recommend they save their money and basically upgrade their PC with upgrade the graphics card and the memory on their PC. And there you go. Instead of wasting money on a 0.5 console when you already have the previous one before it that plays the same games.
Quan,
are you
as our leader should know better.
Are you talking down about my PS4 Pro and my Xbox Scorpio? How dare you, sir?
No, but I'm saying, listen.
Logic. We're offended by this.
I'm sorry. I'm just messing with you guys.
No, but hear me out. Here's the thing, though. I mean, it makes no sense unless you're basically coming out the gate new. Like, I never purchased in my life an Xbox console, and if I decide to buy, an Xbox, I'll get the Scorpio. I will not waste my time getting the Xbox S or the original Xbox One. It wouldn't make any sense to me.
But you're asking people to be in the gaming industry.
How dare you? I'm joking. But
well, now that you mentioned that, I will say this. You bring up a good point with the 0.5 thing because, of course, one of the games I plan on getting next week, and please don't cut my throat. I plan on getting Horizon Zero Dawn.
I plan on getting it too.
Hell yeah! I'm getting that game.
Kill
All game.
So
That game looks awesome.
I've had interest in that game since they first announced it. It looks cool. It's no Zelda, but it looks cool. Okay.
Not
Now,
everything could be Zelda, and sometimes you need difference, anyways.
exactly.
And you know what
But
it reminds me
they
of?
had a comparison to where they compared the PS4 Pro, it run on the PS4 Pro, and run on the regular PS4 or PS4 Slim. They're the same. The only difference is the PS4 Pro does a little upscaling.
And
It's not
HDR.
4K and the HDR, but they both are locked at 30 frames per second.
I don't
And guess
give a
what?
damn.
Even the
As long as
PS4
the frame rate is steady, it's 720p or higher, I'm happy.
See, even the PS4 Pro, it would stutter in the same spots on the frame rate as the regular PS4. So I'm like, well, so what is the point of the Pro? To give me HDR?
Exactly. And here's the thing: you have to have a TV capable of HDR as well.
And then on top of that, even the guy was like, of course you get a slightly better, sharper visuals, with the upscaling. I said, but I don't think that's really worth $400 though. I mean, literally, the game plays identical. The visuals are pretty much identical, except you get more.
But Dr. Feelgood,
detail.
think about it. What you just said applies to technology in general. People will look at a TV and be like, well, I can get a 1080p TV with smart technology, blah, 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 for $400. Or I can get a 4K TV for $800 that doesn't have any of that, but it's 4K. What do you think people are going to do? I didn't say us. I said the normal consumer is probably going to do.
Look, my sound was the kind of non-committal. They're going to do what they need to do. I mean, like here's the thing. Unfortunately,
it's shiny.
All these,
that's the truth. It's shiny. It's pretty. It's new. It's
unfortunately, different. For all of these fake video game news sites and all that stuff, and these
you're sounding like the greatest president we've ever had. Be careful.
Well, they are fake gaming sites because these people are like, VR is the future, 4K gaming is the future, 8K gaming is the future. No one's making games consistently in 1080p really, because the games are being they're being up-res. They're not being made from the ground up with that particular frame rate in mind. So
dude, you sound like a hater, dude.
So it's like, okay. What's the point of all this technological, this graphical fidelity when the games are basically the same games you've been playing for the last 3 gens, basically?
Yeah, and to me, and when I saw that video, now keep in mind, I don't really care about resolutions. I don't really care that much about frame rate, although it's more important. I do care, just not as much. But to me, I said, okay, both games pretty much run at a lock 30 frames per second. In all the same areas. Both games stutter at the same point. I mean, both versions. Well, I say both consoles, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I was afraid they would try to make this game cater to the PS4 Pro, but they didn't. They didn't. So it's going to be a pickup for me. And
one moment, gentlemen. What is that in the background?
Yeah, someone's playing something.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It just threw me off. Sorry. Had an ADHD moment.
No, I was playing something.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. Sorry, guys, that's my fault. Continue.
But just to me, I don't see, the reason for upgrading the PS4 Pro. For those that have it, I mean, good on you.
God bless you.
But, God bless you. I will say that. I mean, there may be something wrong with you. I just don't know what. But um, when I saw that comparison, I was like, yeah, I mean, I was gonna get one anyway, but this just more so confirmed that I really shouldn't get one.
You know, the
And
thing is,
go
listen,
ahead.
the thing is this: if there's evidence that, like, for example, if VR really, toes the line and everybody makes it mainstream, right? One. And two, it shows that it has a boost in performance that's appreciable using the Pro. I'd go for the Pro. You know what I'm saying? But,
Yeah.
but as it stands right now, like I said, there is really no compelling reason to upgrade. And that's why it doesn't make sense to me for them to spend all that money on R&D, all that money to sit up here and change the parts and put out a new SKU, and then all of a sudden try to treat it like it's something totally different when it's not.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's like they're trying to pull what Nintendo did from the GameCube to the Wii, and from the Wii U to the Switch. Like, basically, they're like saying, like, but at least with Nintendo, there's new ways to play using, like, the hardware is very similar, but you're getting new ways to play. Like, literally nothing has changed, and in some cases, the upgrade in hardware is actually making it harder for developers to optimize their games for the new stuff. And it's like a game they're games that are running worse on the Pro than they are on the OG PS4. That's bad. That's not good. I'm sorry. That's not good for gaming.
But let's be real. That's nothing new.
And they're also don't forget everybody, they're also using Crossfire, which a lot of these developers don't know how to develop with dual GPU setup.
Kenoshi, I hate to break this to you, but when someone says Crossfire to me, I think of that awesome commercial from when I was a little kid.
That game? Oh, I remember Crossfire.
You'll get caught up in the crossfire. Now, if they somehow get that kid involved in gaming, then I'm down with it. But other than that, I have no idea what that
Why'd you do
means.
that to me? Because now that's going to be stuck in my head for like the rest of the day.
Listen, I got one for you to get really get it stuck in your head. Imagine if that was sung by Steven Tyler. Oh yeah!
I think the end of that song was already sung by Steven Tyler.
It sounds like he did.
Yeah, but yeah, like, I mean, I just, at this point, I don't know where to go with I don't know where to go with these 1.5 consoles. Sorry, actually not 1.5, 0.5 consoles. I don't know.
It's 0.5, dude.
I mean, because even the Scorpio, like, Microsoft's like, yeah, it's gonna be so beefy. I'm like,
but I mean, according to haters, isn't that what the Switch is? It's a 0.5 Wii U. It's not even as strong as a PS4.
I hate to break this to you. The Switch is essentially a Wii U on performance enhancing drugs. That's what it is.
Pretty much. And the thing is, let me tell you something. I don't mind the
And
Switch
that's
for what it
horrible.
is.
Oh my god.
I don't mind the Switch for what it is because it's offering a new avenue to play. You know what I'm saying? As far as like how they handled, the Joy-Cons and all the different types of hardware that it has inside there.
Who cares about fun, creativity, and innovation? This is video games. It's all about power.
Oh God. You see, this is why, like I said, this is why you see me with my old graphics card in my computer not upgrading until it's time. And it's gonna be time when Mass Effect comes out and I decide to sit here and up my memory to 16.
But this is how. Let's be rude, but this is how I can prove my point real easy. Of all this talk about technology, one of the most enjoyed games on the planet is barely stronger than a Game Boy Advance. You know what one of those games are? Besides Tetris? Huh?
Bejeweled.
Exactly. How powerful is that game? Seriously. How many people play that game obsessively? The games is not a real game enjoyment. It's not about power and graphics. It's about creativity. If somebody does something to get it just the right way, people will play again and again and again.
Well,
Pac-Man is still a bestseller. Tetris is still a bestseller. Bejeweled is a bestseller.
Why did you have to mention Bejeweled? Now I got, Brental Floss's, Tetris as far as why you mentioned Tetris? Because now I got Brental Floss's Tetris song stuck in my head now.
Good game.
Oh my God! Have you ever heard that song? It's off the hook.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean these .5 console upgrades are a little meh to me.
But let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's say we all know as Wii U owners and as Nintendo fans that the Switch is nothing but a Wii U fully realized, repackaged, and resold.
Yep.
Now, let's say so technically one could call it a .5 console. One could call it that.
Yes.
However, this .5 console does add something that the Wii U doesn't have. First of all, it's completely portable. It does not need a television at all at any point whatsoever throughout its lifespan. That's one. Two, it has games you cannot get on a Wii U. It's not taking Wii U games and running them better. You're not popping in a Wii U disc. It has its own games. See, if PlayStation 4 Pro had its own games that literally could not run on a regular PlayStation 4,
Then it's compelling.
That's compelling. But all you're doing is saying, take your game you made for the PS4 in general, and upres it and add HDR. Oh, but we're sorry about that. When you do that, your frame rate drops to the shithole.
Exactly. That makes no sense to me. But you know what?
You did all this. So you claiming, and I've heard this argument too across Twitter, Google Plus. Well, the PlayStation 4 Pro is the same thing as the 3DS, new 3DS. I said no, the hell it's not. New 3DS added a second analog stick, which is great for games that you need to control your camera. It added two more shoulder buttons that you didn't have before. The new processor actually does make a difference in games like Smash Brothers. It goes like twice as fast. There are actually a couple of games that can only be run on a new 3DS.
Xenoblade, anyone?
Exactly. I said so, and then I said plus it added a 3D camera tracker. So 3D is actually far better. So it is miles beyond. It doesn't run old 3DS games worse at all. It has a game that can only be played on a new version, and it makes a current feature far better. It gives you more buttons than a second analog stick. That shit is not the same. Plus, it has built-in NFC, so no extra peripheral need to be added to it to get that functionality. That is not the same as a PS4 Pro. And plus, the new 3DS launched the same price, basically, as the current 3DS was being priced at before it got the drop. Because 3DS was actually $199 typically, and then when the new 3DS dropped, it launched at $199, and so they lowered their current one that's like $175. The PlayStation 4 Pro, it went up in price. So to me, that's not the same thing. They're not the same thing. But as I was saying, if you want to call the Switch a 3.5 console, you can. But technically, it is. At the same time, it's not because it does things that we cannot do.
I have a strange question to ask you guys, and I'm actually not being facetious, even if it may sound like it. As a gamer, is it important to be logical? No, I'm just saying because the whole concept of video games, at least at its core, is to just enjoy yourself, right?
That is true.
So, does logic really play a factor or not?
Well, it depends on how you're talking about gaming. If you're talking about gaming as like if you're talking about gaming, okay, I'm gonna equate video gaming like you do a fan about being a basketball fan, right? Like there are people who are just fans of the game. They just enjoy watching people play the game. They like the sport, right? And they don't really care. Like they might not be a fan of the teams, but they like seeing the game getting played, right? But then you have people who are like deeper, who are more into basketball. They know about the mechanics of it. They know about plays and stuff like that. So like the type of the way they feel about something is because they have a deeper understanding about it. They have to be more correct on the terminology than someone who's just like a casual fan of it. So I guess depending on how you enjoy, how deep your enjoyment is of video gaming, depends on what terminology and what perspective you have on how things are going. Like if you're just someone who got into, like just basically just got into gaming because you just want to have fun, then as long as you're having fun, that's good. But if you're someone who's deeper into it, who's been through a lot of history, who's playing on the Atari, on the NES, on the SNES, and has been playing for multiple generations on multiple bits of hardware and stuff like that, your understanding and what your viewpoint will be different than you're going to have a certain logic to how you view things, or at least you should, because I mean, if you go on YouTube, you'll find people who claim they've been gaming since the Atari and still say things, and it's like you really said that.
As I said, because I was about to correct you right there. Like, I've been gaming since before the Atari.
Yeah.
And I still value fun above all else. Don't get me wrong.
You know,
as you play long enough, there's certain things you feel compelled to engage in. But in general, the concept of gaming is to have fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, but it's kind of like this. At least to me, it's kind of like when you really enjoy something, learning more about the subject that you enjoy deepens your enjoyment of it. For example,
the immersion, which the deeper immersed you become, the more you enjoy it. Gotcha.
Well, not only that, but you begin to learn more. Like, you begin to appreciate what you're playing. For example, like, I mean, I'm sure everyone here played Super Mario World, right? Clearly, everyone here played Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone played that game, but I mean, as a fan, that's like one of my favorite 2D Mario games. But that's also Shigeru Miyamoto's favorite 2D Mario game. So that deepens my enjoyment of playing that game, to realize that the creator of the Mario franchise in general, basically, that's his favorite 2D Mario game. So it's like, wow, that's an interesting experience. Now, here's the thing. If I was a casual fan of the series, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't know. But I just know I had fun with the game. But as me enjoying a game that also is the favorite of the creator, I'm like, wow, that's pretty damn deep. That deepens my enjoyment of it. And, you know.
And that's cool. My issues, I kind of fall apart, but differently. Like, I feel compelled. Like, Super Mario World is one of my favorite 2D Mario games, hands down. But this is where blasphemy comes in. I love playing Super Mario U. Don't get me wrong.
See, now you got to get out of here. No, I'm joking.
I still think World is better. Yeah. But I think that's more my own personal, nostalgia. That's the danger thing. You gotta figure out what's nostalgia and what's actual fact.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I would say that Super Mario Brothers U has tighter platforming than you had in Super Mario World. But for some reason, there's certain power-ups. There's certain power-ups.
Don't get me wrong.
Mechanics in the world that
makes no sense, and it's like, why is that here?
Don't mind Max. He's in a mood now.
Okay.
I was gonna pull that Dave Chappelle. That shut that fucking dog up.
See, you should name him Shep and give him a little bowl of whiskey. He'd be just fine.
That's terrible. Don't give dogs alcohol, please.
Well, for the record, he's correct. If you seriously think I condone giving animals alcohol, you're a sick person.
Don't do that. Sick. It's poisonous for them.
Well, let me ask you guys.
Don't get me wrong. It's not like I like animals. I'm just saying it's just messed up. It's like giving a baby alcohol.
Don't get that dog drunk.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. It's about Horizon Zero Dawn. But okay, recently
that's a cute dog.
I don't.
It's a cute little guy.
Yeah.
I don't even bother responding to people anymore regarding the bullshit they spit out on any social media. When I see it, I just ignore it. But recently, someone commented talking about they were comparing Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn, saying they're the same.
Man,
and of course, Dr. Trey, shout out to him, he said they're not the same. And everyone that's played the game has even said Zelda's on a whole new level. And then I said that although I love Horizon Zero Dawn, I plan on getting it. I said the game is gonna flop sales wise. And then someone asked why.
Oh, it is.
And I said I agree with Zoe 70. The thing
Because the
is,
game,
Sony fans will hype some shit up, but the closer it gets to launch, the hype dies down, and you find out 2 months later that game only sold like 500,000 units.
listen,
I say,
here's the truth.
I
Here's
want
the
the game to
truth.
do well, but it's not.
Zero Dawn looks fun, creative, and challenging. Those three factors is proof that game is gonna flop.
Yeah, that's gonna take it out back to the woodshed right there.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a single player Monster Hunter almost.
Yeah, basically.
But when I said that, someone, I'm not gonna mention their name, but they replied and said it's gonna flop. He said, what do you get there from when it's actually outselling Zelda in every single market? I say, well, how do the two games that haven't released yet outsell each other? For what? I mean, I didn't say this to him. I just said it as just a generalization. I said both games haven't even came out yet till next week. So how are they outselling one another? How's it outselling it when there are no sales to speak of? And the Zelda pre-orders, hell, people are saying this shit's been canceled for the game.
Yeah, like
but my answer says this. Like I said, like Zombie70 says, it's gonna flop because just as you guys said, it's a fun, compelling, and challenging game. And since it's not a typical COD Battlefield, something that an idiot can pick up and play. No offense to those out there, but if you are, I don't give a shit. The problem with that is it's gonna flop because of that reason. Great games on this system actually do flop. Sunset Overdrive flopped. It's a great game, but it flopped completely. And Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, with the same treatment. It may hit 1 million units, but it's gonna flop. It's going to flop.
Here's what I'll say. I don't have the same level of what's the word I'm looking for, faith in Zero Dawn because it's from Guerrilla Games and they're very they have in my mind they have a 50-50 track record. But here's the thing. This is them doing something different. This is them doing a game that's not
getting kicked out. This is annoying. Sorry.
Man, Google's angry, man, because you're spitting hot fire. But but anyway, like it's like this game. I mean, they're enthusiastic about the game. It's relatively imaginative for a PlayStation IP. It's doing something different that we haven't seen before, and that's what's going to kill it. Is because the thing you have to realize is that whenever Sony has an imaginative, fun new IP. PlayStation fans, like after the fact, like the next generation after that gen, they were like, "Oh man, I love that game." But I mean, your console sold like 90 million units, and only 200,000 copies of this were sold. So,
and that's the pattern. People talk all this mess, but in reality, they're going to spend the money on this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hot fire. That's like Neck. It's the new Mario killer. How many actually bought that?
No, Sony said that. No one else said.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No,
that's true.
I mean, it's Sony basically. Like that's the thing. In the games that should get hyped up, don't get hyped up for Sony. Like they should be like Sony should be releasing more first party games. We've said this before. Sony should be releasing more first party games. Sony should be releasing Sony should be releasing Pa Rappa the Rapper 3. Yes, it's nice that they redid the first Ratchet and Clank, but that should be a whole new redo of the entire series. Okay, like not the PS3 ones, but the PS2 ones. Yes, redo those games. They should be because here's the thing: the money in the console business is in the first party games, and if Sony's highest selling first party IP is Gran Turismo. And Gran Turismo is really expensive for them to make. And the last two iterations lost money. Think about that.
Yeah, it just like I said to me.
Let's be honest.
I don't
just nailed it right there. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But I said I don't bother anymore. But when he said that, I was like, dude, this is not me shitting on the game. I want the game. I'm going to buy the game. Go ahead and laugh at me. I own Last Guardian, and I actually like the game.
See, right there, you effed up.
I don't know about that. We're going to have to leave this podcast because clearly you...
But see, here's the thing.
You can't redeem yourself.
I wasn't even the most hyped person for the game, but yet here I am. I bought the game, and I actually liked the game thus far.
Okay, jokes aside, I was going to message you because I personally think it might be trash. Let's be honest. If you want to be truly judging something, you have to experience.
You gotta play it.
So what about the game? What about the game actually redeems it in your eyes?
Yes, please. Tell me. Please.
So far,
Because I am you got me curious.
Yeah.
listen. To me so far, and forgive this tangent, but I will go ahead and appease you guys, okay?
I want to know.
I
Look,
really want to know because I'm like, what?
can we
Yeah.
talk about this after the cast, please? I mean, come on.
No, I want to know what makes the last
We have to
PS2
know,
game
dude.
ever released. So appealing.
Look,
I'm sorry.
I said I like the game. I didn't say I love it. I said I like it. To me, so far, it's a pretty decent game. Is it great? No. Does it have its flaws? Yes. But I give credit where credit's due. It's something different. It's not a shooter. The kid doesn't have a gun in his hand. He's not shooting some advanced bow and arrow. It's different. It's just a different game to me. I love
Okay.
the art style. I like the animation. People say the game is overly animated and stuff. To me, I just think it's more or less accurate to what a child like that would actually experience, how they would actually stumble, because he stumbles over a lot of stuff, but he's a kid, just got knocked the fuck out. He
So
woke up.
so you're talking like the original Prince of Persia because that was a complaint, and I love that. Honestly, the original Prince of Persia, because that game was not easy at all.
Yeah, but see,
No,
he
it wasn't.
Stumbled, he fell down, all kinds of crap.
but see, he stumbled like in most games when you have like a surface that's it looks very detailed, and they'll put like a small little, I would say 12-inch by 4-inch brick on the ground somewhere. But when you move towards that brick, it's like you basically step through it. He actually places his foot on top of it. And when he's walking, if you walk in one direction, you press in another or whatever, you'll see him like actually trip over that little small brick. And the animation is actually very well done. And like I say, he appears to be like a little 8 to 10-year-old kid, not knowing what's going on. It makes sense to me because you see these games today where you may have a child as the protagonist, but this child actually performs and walks and does actions as if they're a damn adult that has matured muscles, and they don't.
I hate you today, Google Hangouts. Sorry.
But I mean, but seriously, it's just realistic to me. He's not some kind of some child that has all these abilities that make him seem superhuman. They make him seem like they actually cast and give him the same characteristics of a frail child. That hey, you know what? I'm messing with this big ass animal. He kicked me against the damn wall. I'm knocked out for a few hours. I wake up, I stumble around, and even as you're walking around that same place, he's kind of tripping over himself. When he climbs, it's very, very slow. It's not a hit this button to climb the wall and he just pulls himself up in like half a second like he's playing Uncharted. No, like it takes him a while. And I think the reason why people are shitting on that because it's not typical. Usually when a game has climbing elements or stuff like that, platforming, it's very tight control. You hit an
So
action,
basically,
you've done
what
it.
you're stating is that it went. That's what I'm saying. Like it went back to the original Prince of Persia, where
I can
they
say that, yeah.
Prince of Persia and Pitfall. It's basically they're not trying to give you some superpowered person. They're giving you a person who's in this unique situation, and they're doing the best they can with what they can actually do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
From what I heard of the game,
Which means the game would fail. We
I played-
might enjoy it, but the gaming populace is going to put shit on it.
And you know what every viewer has said about this game? They said that although they may not have enjoyed the mechanics of the game or the camera was too slow to react and things like that, to me the camera wasn't terrible at all. But as I said, I think it was done intentionally by the developers. But every single reviewer has said the game is an incredible emotional journey. You'll feel attached to the characters.
See, I
And
got
that,
mixed.
to
I
me,
got
that's
mixed
rare.
feelings about that because I'm not trying to play a movie, but at
No,
the
no,
same time, relax. Let me finish. I do believe in something that's engaging, which is why Final Fantasy pulls me in every damn time, even when they screw shit up all the time.
Let me
Because
tell
they
you,
usually have a good story.
the last time I got attached to a character in fiction, I would have to say it was from Clannad. I don't know if you ever watched that anime.
Oh, okay.
But-
I'm with you. Continue.
And
Sorry,
the
I'm a
last time I
otaku.
got attached to a character in a video game that deep, it had to have been Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There was a scene there. There was a scene there that basically had me torn whether I wanted to continue playing or not. But I'm glad
Don't
I
make me
Yeah.
fanboy. I love you, my leader.
And you know what? And for me, don't get mad at me, but for me, it was Final Fantasy X.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Really, dude?
When it came to Yuna and the shit she had to deal with, all the shit that was on her shoulders, like to me, I was like, it's kind
No,
of
dude.
fucked up.
Tara, if you're gonna go that route, Tara has the bigger conflict. Screw you.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, Final Fantasy VI. Like Final Fantasy VI, where you find out Terra's backstory and you find out where she comes from and why she's important to the game. It's like, damn. Like, and here's the thing: almost all the characters in that game have some really sad shit to their backstory.
Yo, Final Fantasy
From
Even
Gal
Smeltzer.
Shadow.
to Edgar and Sabine to Shadow to Realm to Strago to Locke
Get
to
into Shadow.
Terra.
Get into Shadow. Do you remember that one little scene where patience is a virtue?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh my God!
Oh
my goodness.
You know,
That
Final Fantasy.
You were eating your heart out, dude. Waiting.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Final Fantasy, and I even felt kind of bad when General Leo died. I was like, damn, I like General Leo.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's actually,
look, he
that's
worked
why
for
I
a
like
horrible
Very
empire, but he
because
tried
you
to
could
do
play
the
with
best
him.
he could, you know? And he's like, look, I'll do the best I can and not be an a-hole.
Listen to you batch of punk ass gamers talking about playing games. You should be bitching about them, not playing them.
Oh, dude, I ain't gonna lie.
How
Listen,
dare us?
I ain't gonna lie.
dude.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie. The story behind Planet, and it's also a game, moved me to tears. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was me, my wife, and my son were moved like that, watching it together. It was
Your whole
here.
family is just boring and you guys suck.
it was heartbreaking, man. It was heartbreaking what we saw. I'm man enough to say it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be like, "Oh yeah, you're a punk, whatever." Nah,
No,
man. A punk is somebody who can't do that.
See, that's where you mess up. A real man pretends to be a real man and talk shit about everybody else.
Yeah, man, that's what we do. That's the rules.
What the hell is this fairy tale?
Uh,
I'm a real man.
I love Elfman. Elfman's my boy, dog.
No, but get it back to it though. Honestly, as I said, to me, that's compelling because it's different. I like shit that's different. It was necessary. If you think about all the damn shooters we have, the shooters, the blood, the zombies, the dark, just everything out there, the action heroes. It's nice to play a game where the protagonist is a damn innocent child that's frail as hell and basically has no ability but basically being um, a good Samaritan, and there's a lot of emotional attachment there. So I like the game.
Yo, I don't know what's up with Hangouts today, but I'm about.
Google's acting like a you know what. And I guess that's one of.
Don't trip about it because honestly, when we were supposed to go live around like 1 p.m. Eastern, I tried like 10 times. Hangout kept loading up to 99% and it would stop.
We've been in this Hangout since about 1. I've been kicked out 8 times.
Yeah,
but hey, you know what?
Google.
You're the Phoenix, man. You keep rising.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I ain't no punk. I keep going regardless. I'm just annoyed.
That's why I like a game like, even though people like to get mad at the mind behind the game. That's why I like a game like Psychonauts because it has such a weird cast of characters. Like these aren't your average. Like these aren't your average characters. Like your main character is this kid who runs away from the circus. Who like in his mind he thinks his parents, his father is like his nemesis. He's got all of these psychological hangups and stuff. You have all these characters who, on the outside, they look a certain way, but then you go further into their minds and you find out they've got psychological trauma too. And I mean, it's just a very interesting dichotomy. And some of the psychological trips you go on with these characters, like, damn, I didn't see that one coming.
Well, the fact you use the word dichotomy, I love you.
Hey, you know what though? And check this out. Here's another example. And Nintendo, I would say this. This is a slight fuck up on your part, okay?
Watch your fucking language, dude.
How dare you?
My wife, I got Color Splash on launch day. Keep in mind, I have not played it yet because when I got it, my wife took over. She went through that game, and I'm telling you, she was pissed off at the ending because not that it was a bad ending, it just made her sad and tear up a bit.
Mm.
And in her mind, she's like, I can't believe this shit happened. I said, it's actually a happy ending. She says, well, not to me, goddammit. She said, that's not what I would want to happen. She said, it's not bad. I just hate it. I just hate they went that route. I said, well, it's actually a happy. She says, I know that, but I want a different happy ending.
And I
But
agree. A
hey,
good storytelling, you sometimes have to just deal with the fact shit don't always go the way you want it to.
but she even said, I want to play through the game again. She says, but knowing it's going to happen, I kind of don't. I said, well, damn, did it make you not want to play games again? And she actually hasn't played many games since then. It kind of got to her. And now, like I said, she loves the game, and she loves the game's ending. She just like the way it came about.
Mm.
And I'm not going to spoil it, but if you have played it, you know what happens to one of the main characters or whatever. Take for that what you will, but it made her sad. It made her tear up a little bit, and I get it. Like I said, I get it.
But they kidnapped the princess. Who saw that coming?
Look, I'll just simply say, man, that games like that we don't get many of anymore. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the games that get shitted on. Like they're not supported. That's why I say to me, Horizon Zero Dawn, as you guys said, it's not going to sell well. Not because it's not a good game, but because it's doing things that people today, the typical dude, bro, casual gamer, don't want to hear. Like
Yeah.
I can almost tell you, and I'm not sure, I could be wrong. If this game doesn't have some kind of online play, they're going to shit on it.
And
If
you know
there's no
what?
online play, they're going to be like, no,
But
I don't
that's
want this
what,
game.
see, this is what concerns me. Because basically what they're saying is if you want to get video gaming to keep going, you got to sacrifice quality. Because if either that or they got to find a way to make quality cheaper. Because quality games are bought in smaller amounts, while trash games are bought in larger quantities.
King.
Ah,
Am I wrong?
yeah, I agree. I agree. But like I said, to me, it's sad because I would love to see Horizon Zero Dawn get a sequel, just based on what I've seen thus far. But I know it won't.
Yeah, yeah. Because I go front. The whole concept has me completely intrigued. I am so into this game. People have trashed this game the last 2-3 months, and I'm like, why? This game looks great. Then I
What,
realized
Horizon?
who we're dealing with.
What game is
Horizon Zero
this?
Dawn.
Horizon Zero
Horizon
Dawn.
Zero Dawn. So why,
Yeah.
why are people trashing it? It doesn't. It looks like a
Well,
like Consta. It looks like a single player, short, bite-sized Monster Hunter.
well, I mean,
To be clear, God damn it, that's number 10 or is it 11? I don't know. But to be clear, I'm not saying Zero Dawn is perfect. I'm saying that those that truly want to immerse themselves in a different, unique, fun experience,
yeah.
you want to
Well,
play
we need
Zero Dawn.
Man, regardless if we like Zero Dawn or not, like, we need different stuff.
Yeah, because that's
Exactly.
the thing.
keep playing the
If you
same
want
crap
if you
over
want an
and over.
ecosystem that grows, you need to throw in the occasional curveball.
Well, I mean, you need a variety of stuff. It's like if
Exactly.
you went to a supermarket and you went to their vegetable section and all they had was just
Two
squash.
vegetables.
No, it's just squash. No, nothing else but just squash and then one red pepper. The squash is Call of Duty and other third-person shooters, and then the red pepper is FIFA. It's like there's no like. Here's the thing: I like squash and I like red pepper, but after a while, if that's all you had, you'd have a deficiency, and that's basically what we have in
Fruit
gaming now.
squash, I like broccoli and lettuce and tomato and I'm sorry.
And the character's not another, grovelly voice, 30
Talks
or
like
40.
this.
I'm
You know.
becoming my
Hey,
trouble.
what's the last game you played as a redheaded girl? Like,
That game.
Heavily
And,
Sword.
and you nailed it. That's another thing.
No, that
That main
game.
character is a female
Yeah, that
and
game
a
for
redhead.
that game
Oh,
for
yeah,
the PS3
Heavenly
where that
Sword,
was
yeah.
Heavenly Sword. Yeah, that was the other game you played as a redhead chick with a sword that was killing
I heard that
stuff.
game was really awesome. I actually need to pick that up.
It flopped.
Oh no, I know it flopped. But the people I know that played it really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good game. That was the game that had Andy Serkis as the main bad guy, because I was like, if you guys hadn't spent all that money on Andy Serkis, you might have met your budget.
Yeah, you probably, and the game would have been longer. One of the downsides I heard to it was too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like I said, it sucks that I don't want. Let me be clear. I don't want it to flop. But just like Sunset Overdrive, I want a sequel to that game. Even though it finished off well, I want another one. I really, really do. And speaking of that,
Just to interrupt you real quick, bro. You
What?
know Kelp Dome is on Splatoon right now.
no, I didn't.
Okay, I'm just letting you know that. Continue. I'm playing, so yeah.
But there's a really recent article released. It's something saying that they with or without Microsoft, they're going to continue Sunset Overdrive, I believe.
Really?
They want to.
Don't
They
play
said
with my
with or without
emotions.
Microsoft because they said that they actually own the IP.
They
Good.
do?
They
So
say
that
they
means,
own it.
wait, so that means it could be on other platforms then.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm continuing. I'm getting a little too
And
excited.
I know what they're waiting on. They're waiting on that Bayonetta 2 treatment. Nintendo, please go fund them. I'm
Nintendo,
begging you.
please. Let's
Go
get a
fund
Sunset
them.
Overdrive 1 and 2 in one game.
Well, I mean, I always said that was one of the problems with Insomniac is that they made games that would have done really well on Nintendo platforms, not so good on PlayStation.
Well,
Especially
that's and so you because the thing about Horizon Zero Dawn, it's not like Uncharted where it's freaking everywhere. You saw it every freaking where.
Uncharted
do you
is
think
such a... Anyway, sorry.
do you think they're gonna send Horizon out to suffer a little bit? I don't think they're gonna send it out to die, but
Well, I've already read
they
an
seem to send a
article.
lot of their games out to die. Sony has a really big problem with doing that.
Well, I've already read an article that was shared, I think, by Zelby70 that states that someone has found out that the pre-orders for Horizon Zero Dawn are not faring that well.
That's pain. I mean, people have been crying for something different. They've been crying to go to new.
It, it, it,
But bro, listen, Kenoshi, you should know this. No, I gotta say it,
for
Kenoshi.
years.
Kenoshi, you know this. Even in the Nintendo community, there's proof of this. People bitch and moan for stuff. They want like, we want this. It's different. It's awesome. It's great. Then it comes out, they're like, it's not the same.
Yeah,
awesome,
it's not what we wanted. Yeah, I mean, let's keep it real, okay? Like I said, Sony's 3 biggest IPs, first party IPs, are Gran Turismo. That's their biggest, followed by Uncharted, followed by I want to say Ratchet and Clank, but I can't be as in general as a franchise. That's it. And here's the thing: Ratchet and Clank sold the best when it was in the PS2 era. The PS3 era it dwindled down to.
I shall not submit. I rise. Sorry.
Gran Turismo, the cost to make that game has ballooned up over the last. From the PS1 to the PS2 to the PS3 to the PS4, which each successive gen, it's gotten more expensive to make, and they've made less money because the cost to make the game has gone up astronomically. And I mean, Uncharted is one of their few games that's actually been turning a profit. But the thing is that it's diminishing profits because AAA development is more expensive than it was during the PS2, PS3 era. So, essentially speaking, generally speaking, the first party IPs that people claim they love from Sony didn't sell that well when they came out. Like, I love Medieval. I love Power Rapper the Rapper. I like Ape Escape. Yeah, I like Ape Escape, Guitaru, man. I like these games. But unfortunately...
Those are cliche games, though. I mean, sorry, niche games. Sorry.
But unfortunately, the PS2 sold 150 million units. And yet, I think I want to say that what was that game? I think Okami sold less than 1 million.
Okay.
On that system.
Can I interject regarding this matter?
Go ahead.
As a military personnel at that time, and I can tell you from personal experience and being around and just going all over, at that time, at least for us, I don't know about civilians. For us, it was cheaper to buy a PlayStation 2 and use it as a DVD player than to buy a DVD player.
Well, it was a DVD player.
But that's what I'm saying. And so when they use PlayStation 2 sales as a video game console, it's irrelevant because the truth is a lot of people bought the PlayStation 2 as a cheaper DVD player. I just want to make that very clear.
No, I understand that. It's kind of like the
so
a lot
when
of people
use PlayStation sales of games, it's not quite the same because a lot of people bought PlayStation 2 specifically for watching movies.
I understand that. A lot of people got a PS3 for the Blu-ray. A lot of people got the PS4
No, I know you
play
know
CDs.
that. I'm just letting that know for the viewers.
Yes, I totally understand. Viewers understand that a lot of the install base for these consoles, especially for the PS1, PS2, PS3, was because of their secondary function, which was PS1 CD player, PS2 DVD player, PS3 Blu-ray player, not primarily for the games.
And the reason the PS4 is selling is because Microsoft and Nintendo stepped on their own slog.
Well,
yes, there were glaring mistakes when it came to how Nintendo presented the Wii U.
I would say that the reason the PS4 is selling is because Sony put billions of dollars into advertising it, and because it damn sure ain't the games. Because as we can see, a lot of games have been flopping on the PS4. So you can't
speak the truth.
So I would say that Microsoft shot themselves in the buttocks, as Forrest Gump said in Forrest Gump. And in terms of Nintendo, I mean, look, it was a combination of directionless marketing, getting screwed over by third parties, giving third parties the chance to screw them over. It's but then again, let's keep it real. Third parties screwed over Microsoft too, and worse than they did Nintendo.
Yeah, they did screw over Microsoft because they're the reasons why Microsoft are implementing these draconian practices or trying to, and they still kind of do. I mean, both Sony and Microsoft still.
Yep, they lost a ton of money over this.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Well, Nintendo may have lost sales. They were still profitable.
Well, let me ask you a
These
quick
other
question.
companies suffered literally financially.
Are you guys?
They have to drop money left and right.
Are you guys planning on picking up Horizon Zero Dawn? You, Andre?
Me, yes. Wait. Say it again. I didn't hear the question.
Yes.
Say it again.
That sounded like a very serious laugh. Are you seriously getting the game?
I'm getting it, but honestly, I hate to say it. I'm gonna wait.
I think the reason he's laughing is because he's like,
is this, bro? I know this game is gonna flop. So I'm gonna make a jerk. I'm gonna make an a-hole move.
He's gonna wait for a sale. I think that's.
Oh wow, Google just dropped him again.
What were you gonna say? Jewel Archon?
I was just gonna say that in order for me to get the game, that means I would have to get that system.
Okay, you sure you're not packing
You're
me?
trolling.
Are you kicking me out of this on purpose?
No, I promise you.
Sir, that was a good one.
I actually mentioned it because the moment you said what you're gonna do, the moment you about to say it, it dropped your ass. We were like, damn.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, dude, are you? Because
You
I thought it was Hangouts, but I'm like, is he doing this to me on purpose?
No, you missed. It was a good one. Say it again, sir. Say it again, please.
You missed one of the greatest trolls we've ever had
please.
here.
Say it again.
Well done, Google Hangouts. Well done, Google Hangouts. Excellent trolling.
Repeat that again, Andre.
Man,
what did you say?
In order for me to get the game, get the system, and that's not happening. So no.
See, I actually have the PlayStation 4, but go ahead.
I said early on, right at about launch, PS4 and the Xbox One. I said then, PS4 looked interesting for me. There was nothing on there that because I didn't really like any of the games that they were offering that they share or anything like that.
What's your preferred genre, out of curiosity?
As far as
What's your preferred genre out of
What's
curiosity?
Preferred genre?
Because
Probably
that
adventure.
tends to lean towards what system you buy is your genre choice. At least that's my
but
philosophy.
bottom
I could be wrong.
line is one. I told people then, and people that remember me saying it, I said the only way that I'll get an Xbox One is if somebody gives it to me, and I probably still wouldn't keep it.
Damn.
Serious it was.
Well, god damn, man.
You worse than DrFeelGood. Wow.
Look, Andre,
No,
look.
I'm not, for the record, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying,
Look,
wow.
I understand that. I told you with the OGL, you say how you feel, but you just going too damn far.
No, that's
Just
perfect.
saying.
You're supposed to go that far. The whole thing is we need to be truthful,
But
regardless.
he said, for me to get an Xbox One, someone would have to give it to me. Even then, I probably wouldn't keep it. What the fuck?
Look,
Don't
here's
get
the
me
thing.
wrong. That's kind of messed up, but it's his truth.
Here's the thing.
One thing my wife taught me is you need to speak your truth, son. You need to speak your truth.
Here's the thing. I can't get mad at him because literally, like, I won a raffle. In where I live, we had like a big neighborhood thing, and I won a raffle for an Xbox One. And I was like, "What am I gonna do with this shit?" And I re-gifted it because it's like.
Dude, Killer Instinct, you bastard! You should have given it to me.
It's on PC. It's on PC.
Well, dude, this was like when the Xbox One first came out.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, there was literally like nothing I want on this console, and I knew Killer Instinct was going to come on PC eventually. I just knew it. I was like, yeah, I'm not buying that shit.
That is true.
So
okay,
and then I saw the PS4, and I was like. Man, because here's the thing, okay? The reason I got a PS1 back in the day was because the RPGs were on the PS1. I was an RPG nut, but I noticed I still am, but the thing is like the PS1 to the PS2 to the PS3 to the PS4, the amount of AAA JRPGs that have been releasing on those Sony consoles has been going down. The PS1, you had a glut of them because Final Fantasy VII came out and every friggin' Japanese developer was like, we can make a Final Fantasy VII-like game too. And then the PS2 came out and you still had a decent amount of JRPGs on the system. Then the PS3 came out and it diminished down to like very few. Now, like, I think there's maybe like 4 JRPGs on the PS4. And no, I'm not counting this guy. That's a strategy game. there's 4 JRPGs on the system. And
it don't even count anymore because now the Switch is gonna have this guy. So.
Yeah, but.
Well, I like this guy. I know you're not a fan of it. I personally, I love strategy RPGs the best.
No, so. I mean I like this guy, but it's a strategy RPG, which is it doesn't scratch the itch of say a Final Fantasy. Well, what Final Fantasy used to be. And
in that regards, I agree.
Like that. So, I mean, I enjoyed this guy.
This guy fills the spot for me temporarily, but honestly.
Did he drop out again? Yeah. Google's mad at all of us. Damn you, Google! Damn you!
Yeah, but I've been.
Okay, this is becoming almost a spiritual moment because this shit is really pissing me off.
Hey, Chef, I don't think we'll do what you got to say. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not even gonna talk because every time I talk, I get kicked out.
But you know the funny thing is, you think they would have kicked out Andre by now with the shit he's been saying.
True. I'm just gonna shut up and listen to you guys and see if I get kicked out less.
If I owned a PlayStation 4, I would probably pick this game up, but I don't see myself owning the PS4 in the foreseeable.
Well, yeah, Zero Dawn doesn't feel like a system buyer for me, but it does. If you have the system, I think it's worth buying.
Okay, well,
have you the reviews started coming in for Breath of the Wild?
I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't looked at any reviews for Breath of the Wild yet.
Do we need a review for that game?
Well, hold on.
Listen, it's Zelda. I know I'm gonna love it, so I don't really look at that.
someone posted, I think it was Zobi or Dr. Trey. They made a tweet that said one of the review sites said after playing Zelda, his impressions of Horizon Zero Dawn dropped because he said Horizon Zero Dawn is a great game. Zelda's on. He said, but Zelda is revolutionary.
But
Like,
that's
great.
nothing new though.
I
To
hate.
compare any game to Zelda, because Zelda
I
takes to
know.
set
I
the
know.
standard
I know.
every time. Am I wrong?
I know it's Zelda, but I can't stand these reviewers and the flowery, and they give these a lot of these games flowery praises or whatever. I always become a bit skeptical.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. Okay, Nintendo.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Andre.
Okay, I was just saying. I will say this. I saw one score review from Edge today, earlier this morning, before the podcast. The 10, which surprising to me, not because it's Zelda, but because it's Edge.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
gonna
That's a whole
say.
different story. But
Yeah.
so that's one thing. Another, I've actually heard people saying different things, not necessarily giving score reviews, but kind of giving their impressions, early impressions, and hearing a lot of the same things that obviously that I kind of picked up anyway, just because of Aonuma's statements and different things like that. That it harkens back to Ocarina of Time type Zelda game, that revolutionary type that transcends. And we already knew that was happening, but knowing that they actually pulled it off is incredible. Because
Permission to
they're talking.
interject.
What's that?
I'm just jumping for a brief moment. I think
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
harkens. I mean, they use Ocarina of Time simply because it's a bestseller, but I think this is just me, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I think this goes back to the original inspiration of what Zelda was meant to be in the first place. This literally goes back to the very first Legend of Zelda. The vision
Development is concerned. As far as critical acclaim, that's what they're talking about.
Right, critical
As far as
acclaim, of
Ocarina of
course.
Time,
I think Ocarina of Time actually holds the Metacritic score, overall score of a 99.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When he said critical acclaim, I'm saying the concept of Breath of the Wild is closer to the original Legend of Zelda, but the acclaim is closer to Ocarina of Time.
Makes sense to me, but the point the reason I brought that up because to me it's just that you've had people here and there try to bring something up to say something small and negative about it. Oh, well, we noticed a few frame dips here and there, when we had it in a dock mode versus having it on dock. To say, dude, if it's not ruining your damn experience, I don't see the point in bringing it up because telling me that the game went from 30 frames a second to 27. Yeah, I'm not gonna notice.
Well, the reality is this thing probably isn't even pushing the Switch to its limits because again, it was made for the Wii U first and then ported over to the Switch.
Exactly, and also what people have to realize is, let's be honest, negativity sells.
Well, I mean, you're right on
when
that.
When people talk smack and complain about something.
Damn.
Oh my God.
but what I was about to say is this. Okay, essentially speaking, the Zelda games
starting to hate Google Hangouts more than autocorrect.
Let's keep it real. Okay, Zelda games, every mainline Zelda game has been well received. Okay, when it came out, like there aren't bad. Like Zelda's one of those few franchises where you can't say, well, that one game in the series was kind of off kilter. It's like the whole series from start to finish the mainline games have been pretty consistently good, if not great, right? You can't really say that about a lot of other franchises. Like a lot of other franchises, there's that game in the series where it's like they effed up on that one. So I mean, you really can't say that with The Legend of Zelda, and this one has been in development for what, 5 years now?
4 or 5.
I think so.
5 years? Yeah, I mean 4 or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5 years they've been working on this. I mean, and here's the thing, okay? I don't care what anyone says. Nintendo's studios, they are the best first-party developers in the entire video game industry. So when you have the best people in the industry working on something for 4 or 5 years, I mean, chances are the product is going to be good. I mean, I'd be surprised if if Breath of the Wild came out and it was like a Philips CDI game. I could understand people being mad, you know, but I mean, they would never do that. So, I mean, this game is going to be awesome. It's got lots of content. It's going to be so awesome that they're giving you more content on top of the content you're already getting. Of course, you have to pay for it, but hell, I mean, that's life. Sometimes you got to pay for extra. And if you don't like it, too bad. No, I'm joking. But I mean, people just need to calm down, stop being weird, and calm down. That's all I got to say. Just calm down.
I just like Turner just put up a post on Twitter. It was a poll. He's like, how many? What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to score, above, or score below? And I'm thinking to myself, I think it's like media outlets. I think for the most part, it's going to score above. It's going to be above a 90 across the board, in my opinion. To me, the only people that may try to downplay this game are like dual shockers. Those be the only ones that try to downplay this damn game.
It's going to be digital floundry. They're going to be like, there's a missing frame.
Oh, God. That's not trolling.
They actually didn't like Horizon Zero Dawn that much. I mean, they tried to
really. Their Sony check must have bounced.
I read the review. I was like, man, they're actually talking negative about this game.
Their Sony check must have bounced. That's what happened. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, third party wise on the system. Because I mean, let's keep it real. We'd all be lying if we said I don't care about Zelda Breath of the Wild, because everyone's been looking forward to that game. We've been waiting for 4.5 years for the damn game. Here's what I will say though. I'm looking forward to that Bomberman R.
Yeah, that game right there is going to be a sleeper hit. It is.
I heard
the pre-orders for that have actually been doing pretty good too.
I'm just looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to it.
Is going to benefit from the fact that it's a launch game that's coming out when there aren't a lot of other games, especially being the fact that it's the only game that's so the game's going to benefit greatly by being where it is as far as positioning is concerned, because if it came out later on, there are other options for for gamers, and they might not pick it up. Kind of a I guess you could say like a subtitle feature, for the launch. It's going to do well. I expect it to do very well, and it should.
But here's what hurt that game to me, and we've seen it happen a lot during the 8th gen. Konami, I hope you're listening, but if this game does not meet your expectations, like you're expecting this game to move 5 million units in the first year, and it moves 2 million. Don't try to turn around and port this shit to the PS4 and the Xbox One. It's not going to work out for you. It's not.
Well,
it needs to remain as an exclusive game if you want it to sell well. Because in my humble opinion, I think Rayman Legends would have sold very well if it would have stayed exclusive to the Wii U.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying they should. Well, I'm not saying.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Andre. I'm sorry.
No. That's all. That was. I was just saying it would have launched on time if it had stayed exclusive.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I have nothing against them porting something over a year and a half, a year after it comes out. But I guarantee when Rayman Legends, if Rayman Legends had dropped in February like it was supposed to, and it had that whole year just to be by itself and really highlighted the Switch, the Wii U, that game would have done very well. And then maybe the next year they could have dropped a version for the Xbox One and the PS4. That would have been okay. But when they did that, because it soured that game to people who were looking forward to it. I didn't buy the game until it was $8 on sale like physically. Like that's how angry I was. That was money they could have gotten $40. Was it $39.99 lunch or $49.99 lunch?
It was 50.
Okay, they could have gotten $50. They could have gotten full price retail, but instead, because I was so mad about it, I waited until it was $8. You thought they lost money on that sale? Yeah, they did. Okay, and that's their fault. They deserve whatever happens to them. F them. That's how. Because I mean, look, like I had that game pre-ordered because my birthday fell on the 7th, and that game was supposed to come out like on the 13th, a week after my birthday. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be my birthday present to myself. And they're like, oh no, we gotta cancel it. Oh, something happened. I was like, these mofos here. Like, and I'm still like, even now, I'm still like, you know what? To heck with Ubisoft. I'm done. I haven't bought a Ubisoft game on a console since.
It's been a while.
Like I can't even because I got Assassin's Creed 3 when it came out. Because remember, there was like practically nothing on the system. Well, I mean, there was a lot of third-party ports, but I had a lot of those games on PS3, so it was like, like I'm not gonna buy this shit again. And I got Assassin's Creed 3, arguably the worst Assassin's Creed in existence. Okay, and so I was kind of upset by that. I played that game. It was missing some of the downloadable content, which is not cool. I mean, like, here's the thing, okay? As a Nintendo gamer, there's one thing I'm tired of. I'm tired of Nintendo games if they're multiplats being the shittier version of a multiplat. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that, okay? Like, if you're gonna charge me the same price as you charge other people for their versions of the game, why do I have to pay more for less content? That makes no sense to me. And I'm not okay with that. Like if you're gonna put a multiplat on a system, like kind of like how EA did with Mass Effect 3, if you're gonna put something on there, you're not gonna put a good faith effort to make the content available for people who want to purchase it, then I'm not gonna buy your product. Enough said.
Not to mention the ending sucked. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, not to mention that the ending sucked, but I mean, okay, you're going to drop a game and then a week later you're going to put the entire trilogy out for $60 with the first 2 games having all the DLC included. Yeah. And charge us $60 for a game that's missing all, like, it has none of the DLC. And you can't, not only is the DLC not on the game, you can't even download the DLC to add to the game, but you're going to charge me $60 for it. Are you insane?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting parity and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? People act like that's a curse word when you ask for parity. But one thing I don't like, as well as that, what you just mentioned, is when they cozy up to certain publishers and whatever and decide to like put, let's say a hold on production of other people's, games just to sit up here and make sure that one particular platform has that same multi-plat ready at launch. Case in point, what happened with Rayman Legends?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's annoying as hell.
Very much so. But we'll move on to more, negative news. Hate to do this, but how do you guys feel about the whole? If I remember correctly, it was about the damn cancellations of the master editions.
I think that's fucked up. Excuse my language.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
How do you feel about the cancellation? We've heard news that, various retailers, or at least I think Amazon, has been canceling pre-orders for the master edition of Breath of the Wild.
That's effed up, man. All I'm going to say is this. That sucks. My advice to everyone is just maybe you guys should have well, I'm not saying everyone could do this because not everyone had access to that type of cash, but I mean, like, I pre-ordered my stuff. Like everyone else, I couldn't get the master because it was sold out in like an hour, basically. But I pre-ordered all my Switch stuff, and then I used my Amazon gift card to pay for all that shit. So it's paid for, and so they look. I don't care if they got to go and kill somebody to get my Switch. They better get it in my house when it launches. I mean, that's one of the hard things about ordering stuff when you don't have any skin in the game, putting money down on it and stuff, because they do that sometimes. And
To me, like for example, I pre-ordered both my Switches in store. I prefer to do in store as opposed to online because in store is more of a guarantee because that's the stock they have to have. Online, their system doesn't always keep track of the accurate amount they're going to be getting in. So they
yeah,
just pre-order and pre-order and pre-order, and as you know, it's like what you hear from GameStop almost every few months. Well, we have to cancel your pre-order because of whatever reasons. Like you put in the system, you would allow 500,000 pre-orders, but you're only going to get in your store, or you're only going to get told as a company about 400,000. So now you have to cancel people's pre-orders because you did too many. So I did my switches in the store. By the time I found out about the Master Edition, it was already gone. Like you said, it was gone within like half an hour to an hour. And then when I went to Best Buy to get the special edition, I found out that I asked, I said, "Do you have any Master Edition?" They say, "Yes, you can pre-order in store, but they're sold out." I said, "Okay, then. What about the special edition?" They say, "We have those available, but you can only pre-order them online." And I was like, "Fuck that. I'm not going to do that because I know what can happen. More than likely, what can happen, I'm not saying it's a high chance, but what can happen is I pre-order and I can get an email saying that, oh, we have to cancel it. I said, what I'm going to do, and I hope I can do this for a Master Edition, I'm going to be there midnight launch, and I'm going to make sure I'm one of the first ones in the line, and I hope I can walk in that store after picking up my pre-order and get a Master Edition of Zelda. I hope I can do that. If not a master, then a special. But I'm definitely hoping that because to me, as a retailer, especially a brick and mortar, you have to keep some available for walk-in people. You have to. You can't put everything up online for pre-order because scalpers will kill that shit every time. I hear right now that the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild is fucking sold out.
yeah. I heard that too. Look, listen. Look, look. Nintendo does this all the time. Like clearly they're thinking, oh, this is the lowest selling version. Look, listen. They're probably making their money back. Like they said, it needs to sell 2 million copies for them to make their money back. They probably have already made. They're probably going to make that money back just on the Wii U version alone, and everything else on top of that is just gravy. Okay, so I mean. Look, listen. This game is going to make a lot of money, and I'm happy. I'm happy that they're going to make money off of it. I'm a little upset that they aren't making more physical copies available for people who want it. That's not cool. But I mean, look, this is Nintendo we're talking about. We know how they are sometimes. So
I'm mad they didn't make a damn special edition for the Wii U. That's my problem.
I can understand why they didn't do it. I can understand. I mean, like, okay, I can understand on a business level why they didn't do it. It's not cool that they didn't do a special edition for the Wii U. It's not cool that they took out features for the Wii U to make it have parity with the Switch version, which is fucked up. That's not cool because they didn't do that for the GameCube version of Twilight Princess, which they did the same thing for the GameCube and Wii version of Twilight Princess. There were features in the Wii version that the GameCube version didn't have. But, I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
Well, I have a quick question. Andre, you there? Andre. Okay, now I can. Okay, I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm just going to ask anyway. Have you noticed that no one seems to have been sent a Wii U review copy of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
I was going to mention that earlier. If you notice that Nintendo has actually done all of their focus on the Switch version of this game.
And that makes me believe that there may actually be some Wii U specific features, and they don't want that to cannibalize the Switch version. Because call me optimistic. I don't give a shit. I still believe that the Wii U version is going to have some Game Pass specific features. I do. When
Oh
they
yeah.
when they mentioned in that DLC for Zelda saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna add a map feature," I'm like, "Well, what the hell can you add as a map feature?" And I said, "Oh shit, why does Suntivity supplies only to the Switch version?" Now they're probably gonna have a DLC for the Wii U as well, but I think the Wii U version is still gonna have that your inventory on the gamepad full time. I think is there. They just don't want to talk about it because the Wii U has asymmetric gameplay. The Switch doesn't.
I,
So I'm
I
still
can.
hopeful, but I've noticed. I said, well, why does it seem that everyone has the Switch version and no one has said we got a review copy of the Wii U version? Here are the differences.
You know, I I think your optimism is a little misplaced. I think that the reason I think there are some things like I think on both versions you can use the gyroscope in on the Joy Cons with in the Joy-Con controller to move to move things around. Kind of like how you could use the gyroscopic controls in Splatoon to aim and stuff like that. I think that's in both versions of the game, kind of like in parallel from the Wii U gamepad to the Joy-Con controller. But I mean, I don't think it's. I think they're pushing the Switch version because they want the Switch to get off with a successful start, and I think it sucks that they're kind of backdooring the Wii U version.
Well, they don't want the Switch to become another Wii U. They don't want to have that problem again.
Well, let's keep it real. I mean,
It did sell 4 million within the first few months. So
let me put it this way: the Wii U's failure, while Nintendo shares some blame in it, I would say that 60% of it was media and people just because it was the cool thing to do to shit on that console. And then you notice that when the Xbox came out, they stopped shitting on the Wii U and jumped on the Xbox One. So it became the in thing to shit on that console. And it's kind of like what Andre said earlier. It has become almost the in thing. Like a lot of the complaints you're hearing about the Switch is shit that they're still going back to their playbook from what they had about the Wii U and talking about the Switch. It's like, okay, we get it. But here's the thing. Like, you're bitching about the Wii U and you're saying we love the Switch because it's so portable and this tablet is so fun in our hands. But wait a second. The screen size is the same size as the Wii U was. The form factor is a little bit more compact, but the screen size is the same. The controls, generally speaking, are the same as what you had on the Wii U gamepad, except they're detachable. It's a Wii U gamepad, except with the thing taken out. Why are you what's the difference? What's so hard to understand? You're literally playing the thing you said you hated just a few years ago. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was just curious because I've noticed that everyone has been so glad and ecstatic about the game, but it's always the Switch version. Don't get me wrong. If I was in their position, would I want the Switch version? Of course I would, because that
Well,
means
which
you're going to send me a
version?
console. You're going to send me a console more than likely, and you're going to send me the game to go along with it. So I
Well,
definitely get it.
which version are you getting, Doctor?
I'm actually getting both.
The Wii U and Switch version.
I'm getting Wii U and Switch versions, and depending on what I find out about the Wii U version, the Wii version is not going to be opened.
Okay.
But if I find out that the Wii U version has those gamepad features, it's going to be opened. And I say that because this is going to be Nintendo's last game for the Wii U. It is the most anticipated game, and from what we've been hearing from almost every reviewer out there, it is a revolutionary game. And if it does, to me, it needs to be owned by anyone that has a Wii U, regardless. I don't give a shit if you do plug in the Switch and you hate the Wii U. If you have a Wii U, you should buy the damn game for it, regardless. You just should. You should. But Yes, I'm getting both versions. So I'm getting the Wii U version, I'm getting the Switch version, I'm getting the DLC for the Switch, for the game, of course. But I've actually been trying to do searches for anyone that may have gotten a review copy of the Wii U version, and I have yet to find someone that says we're reviewing the Wii U version.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think there's anything like they already said that they're fundamentally the same game except for some very minute differences.
But here's the thing: there are 14 million Wii U's out there.
Yeah.
There are some fans that are still not sold on the Switch yet, or they won't buy it now. They're going to buy it later once their game of choice launches. There are some fans that say, well, instead of me having to spend $300 to play Breath of the Wild, I can play it on my current console. They've been
Hmm.
talking, all the examples they've shown up until recently have been from Wii U. They've been hiding the gamepad and what's on it. They even made versions of it that would not show what the gamepad could do on the game if they did have something there. If they did, I'm not sure. Then, as of late, we've been seeing nothing but the Switch version. So why? You say these games are fundamentally the same, but then why were you still hiding shit on the Wii U version? You were still hiding it. That doesn't make sense to me. Nintendo, I honestly think they're doing this because, let's say, for example, the Wii U version does take full advantage of the gamepad. That's going to create an issue because, one, that's something the Switch version would not have, or probably would get until later if it's in a DLC pack. But two, that game utilizing the gamepad, more people will probably flock to that version because, especially those that already have a Wii U, because hey, it has something the Switch version does not have. Not to say it can't get it or can't be implemented, but I have to say, even when it comes to Splatoon 2 and how it plays now, I you gave me the choice. I would rather have the dedicated map screen that I touch than having to hold down a button to touch where I want to go. I would rather have the dedicated screen. I prefer the asymmetric gameplay aspect. And to me, we all know Breath of the Wild, just like any other RPG or whatever, would have been perfect on a Wii U had they used the gamepad similar to Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So I feel that Nintendo, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but I do feel they're hiding that shit because it will really take away from the Switch version if you think about it. It could pretend because the Switch is just now coming out. So this game is launching. It's a launch game for the Switch. It's the end game for the Wii U. So that could make a person be like, huh. Because most people right now, like, I want to play the game on a superior console. That's true. But there are those of us like myself, I love the asymmetric gameplay. I love the gamepad features. So me buying it for the Wii U is not far from being the Switch version outside of resolution.
Fair enough.
I can't take my gamepad out of the house, but I can take it to
Well,
a separate room.
you can, but it's kind of a bitch to hook it up that way to do all that.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I mean, true. But from a practicality standpoint,
yeah,
you
I
know,
get it.
I mean, so to me, it's just like you don't want to reveal to the public that the version made for your outgoing console has an advantage. Not saying it's superior, but it has an advantage in some way or another over the new console's version of the game.
That could be the case, or they could just be kind of focusing their attention on pushing the the Switch version of it. I mean, either way, no matter what you get this game on, it's going to be awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
come on. Like I said, there are no Legend of Zelda. There is no Legend of Zelda that's bad. Even ones that people might not like. Um, you can't say they're not good games. You know what I mean?
of course. I completely agree. I was just curious because that's all I've been
I
seeing on
beg to
Switch.
differ. I beg to differ. There are three Legend of Zelda games that are as-tastic.
Look,
Uh,
man. Look, we will never bring up those Philips CDI games. They don't exist.
Come
Like,
on now,
I can't
man.
believe Philips tried to sue Nintendo about. They said that Nintendo infringed upon their patents with the Wii, and Nintendo won the thing. I'm like, if anyone should get sued, you guys should get sued for those damn Hotel Mario and those those CDI games.
I, like I said, I'm waiting patiently. I really want to see. I want to see if any media outlet will go out of their way to be like, you know what? Let's review because you know what happens. Like, not every game that comes out is actually reviewed by a media outlet. There are some games that get completely skipped over. I mean, not even a damn mention. If you go to the website, you go to IGN, and you type in that game and look for a review, there's not one available. They just give you the general synopsis of the game.
And which games are these?
Well, I'm just simply saying that there are some games out there that are like that. And so to me, I can see a media outlet actually skipping reviewing the Wii U version. I can see that happening.
Yeah, but I mean, if you like, okay, even if the Wii U version does have certain features that take advantage of the Wii U's gamepad and stuff like that, if you review the Switch version, it's essentially the same game aside from that. So, I mean, it's not like you really need to review two different versions. I mean, it's okay. Rayman Legends, like, or Zombie U, if you want to review the definitive version of that game, you have to review the Wii U version of it because the Xbox One and PS4 and PC versions are garbage. I mean, there's major things missing from that game because it doesn't have the gamepad. That's not the same thing going on with the, with Breath of the Wild.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get that it's a very minute thing in the grand scheme of things. Like, I do get that. But as I stated, I wonder if there's any review site out there that's going to take time to do it. Because, for example, like you said, Rayman Legends, and even Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs, only a few review sites even review the Wii U's version of that game. Now, you can say they're essentially the same, but the Wii U did have a few standout features with when it comes to the gamepad. Now, were they really significant? Probably
No.
not. But they can still change the way the game is played in one aspect or another. Does it make a significant change? No. But some people can see the convenience of it. Same thing goes to Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. It played a little bit better than the other version, not because it's more powerful, but it's more flexible. You had a whole map on the screen full time. You can launch your kill streaks by touching the screen. Hey, you can even do co-op play using two different screens. But not every review site covered that. So although it's minute things and it doesn't change the concept of the game or how well it is, I would still like to know what are the differences besides, maybe a few color hues and resolution. Are there any differences? If there's no difference at all whatsoever outside of that, then okay, you're right. Reviewing the Switch version is the same. But if there are, will they just stay the course and do just the Switch version because that's the more popular one and it's a new console? Or will someone actually take time to outline what the real differences are? Because for me, it will make a difference. I'm getting both anyway, but I can tell you, if there are gamepad features there, that's going to be the version I open up. But that's me. I'm not saying it has to be you guys. That's just me. I will open up that version first.
Okay, here's the thing. From what I've managed to understand, because I just looked at a review, the version that was reviewed for the Edge 10 out of 10 was the Wii U version. I think they reviewed both of them. And they said that the Wii U version has a little bit of has a few frame rate issues, but they don't say anything about any exclusive motion control or anything that's taking advantage of the hardware specifically. I think it's just going to boil down to what you like. What seems what's going to be more convenient for you. If you have a Wii U and you don't want to double down on the Switch right now, go ahead, get the Wii U version. If you want to play this game. And here's the thing. If there's no physical copies, believe me, it'll be available digitally. You can just download the damn thing, okay? It's the same game. Just one is on a little cartridge. I know people are calling it a card. Damn it, that's a cartridge. A cartridge and one's on a disc. Or, they're both digital pro code, but one is going to be on a disc. One's going to be on a cartridge. Same game, except slight variances, and whatever.
Yeah, like I said, I'm fine either way, but I was just curious. Anyone else want to comment on that? Are you getting the Wii U version, Switch, or both? I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all getting the Switch version. Boring bastards.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I was gonna
debating,
get it. I was gonna get it for Wii U first, but then I was like, if I'm getting the Switch, I'm gonna need something to play that's gonna have a lot of gameplay on it, a lot of gameplay time on it. So I was like, I'll just get it for the Switch. That's it.
All right, well, here's the last thing I bring up, and it also seems to be controversial, but no support for Bluetooth headsets. Now, for me personally, I don't give a shit, and here's why. I love Bluetooth headsets. I've been using those damn things since they first launched for phones, back with the Motorola one that flipped out. I really have. I love them. I still use them to this day. However, I can admit and say that at times these bitches are pretty much unsecure. The quality is not that great. Disconnections and things like that. So, granted, it would be convenient to be able to use one, but it doesn't mean you can't use a wireless headset for the Switch. But the people bitching about it saying, well, the thing has Bluetooth, the Wii U has Bluetooth, but it was for the exclusive video codec to stream directly from the console to the gamepad and nothing else. And I'm pretty sure that's the case for the Switch. They're probably using the Bluetooth to maintain a connection from exclusively for the Joy Cons or even
Yeah.
the Wii U Pro or the Switch Pro controller. That's the
Yep.
only reason for it. It keeps it exclusive. It keeps it where it's locked down to where there's less interference. So it's a good thing. Just because the console supports the feature does not mean it needs to exploit that feature completely. They're trying to keep this as primarily a gaming console with very little things that can make stuff go awry. So I get that. But
that's
come
not
on, people.
obvious.
You say what now?
Man, if that's not the most obvious thing that they're trying to make sure that this thing is seen as a gaming system, I don't know what people are looking at.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
launching, yes, yeah, we'll have other apps and different things like that later, holding nothing back. They're saying, look, this is straight up games right now. If you're trying to do anything else with it, you might want to wait to get it.
Exactly. I'll tell you what I'll say about it. Look, it's kind of like what Doc said. I mean, let's keep it real. Bluetooth is convenient, but if you're gaming, look, I've had 3 Bluetooth headsets, and all 3 of them are not as nearly as good as my wired headsets. The quality that I get from them, the convenience doesn't trump the quality for me. So, I mean, and like Doc said, if this thing is basically the Wii U fully realized, if it's the Wii U fully realized, then let's keep it real. It's probably using those Bluetooth channels for other more important shit than, and here's the thing, you want head-free display. I mean, that would make sense if you had to plug in, if the audio jack was in the actual console, was in the base, but it's not. I mean, it's in your hands. I mean, do you really, is it that far? Unless you have arms that are 18 feet long each. I mean, what the hell do you need wireless for when it's in your hands? I mean, it's in your hands. What?
And see, another thing that people need to think about, they're not considering this. Okay, folks, I don't design technology, I don't build computers, things like that. So let me just put that out there. But I do understand, for the most part, how technology works on a practical, scale, basically. Check this out. If the Switch, just like the Wii U, is using Bluetooth exclusively to connect the Joy-Cons to the console itself, imagine how much more confusing technically it would be for it to allow you to connect a Bluetooth headset. There is a chance it can get mixed up. And what you don't want to happen is you're playing a game like Breath of the Wild, and all of a sudden something technically fucks up, and then all of a
Worse,
sudden,
or worse,
exactly, and then
you're
all of
playing
a sudden it's not moving when your Joy-Cons is not moving and doing it should because
hey,
it's like a
hey,
headset.
if you have 8 people in a LAN, in a LAN party, the way that they're doing LAN with Switch, if you have eight of them have, of course, they have their Joy-Con or grips, whatever they're doing, every different things because you're using both Joy-Con for Splatoon 2. I mean, come on now. You have 8 headsets, up to 16 Joy-Con, and the consoles are connecting to each other. What kind of interference would you get there? Oh, none at all, right? I mean, people have to realize that there are limits, and getting mad because it impacts as a one person is kind of short-sighted. People have to understand.
And plus,
Let's be honest, Bluetooth doesn't really sound that good anyway.
it doesn't. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the convenience. I have one of the LG ones that wrap around your neck. It's very convenient. You forget you're wearing it. But if I had to be honest, even though it has decent range, the quality is not. It's not better than a wired headset. Wired more times than not is always superior. It's inconvenient as shit, but it's superior. Just like right now, I have a laptop. It has Wi-Fi, but you know what I do? I have it connected. I have it hardwired because it's actually less interference, if any. It's far superior to wireless. And you can say, well, there's wireless out there that's Wi-Fi that's actually faster. That's fine. But anything that's wireless is not secure and it's not as effective.
So,
It really
is the Switch not using Bluetooth headsets at all?
No.
No. Now, does that mean that they might not do something later down the line that maybe opens up one of those Bluetooth channels? Because the Wii U had I think 3 Bluetooth channels, maybe 4. No, I think it had more than that, but it only used a certain amount. I think they could do something down the line where they're like, hey, we open it up so you can use Bluetooth now. But like I said, Bluetooth, it's convenient, but the quality kind of is not as good as wired. And because like I said, I have 3 Bluetooth headsets. I have one that was $50. I have one that's $80. I had one that when it first came out was I want to say $180, one of those high quality ones, and all of them sound like someone's underwater when I was. So wireless. Wired is a better connection. So and like I said, it's in your hands. Unless it's in your hands.
Let's be honest about one thing. The people screaming about this shit are the ones that own PS4s and Xbox One. Let me ask you a question. Are many of you guys using Bluetooth headsets for that thing? I'm sure you're not, because most of you guys are using either Turtle Beach or Tritons, and those bitches are not Bluetooth.
They're wired, yeah.
They're wired, and even the ones that are wireless, they use dongles. They use Wi-Fi dongles, not Bluetooth.
Yeah, but somebody might come out with a wireless headset for the Switch that has a dongle you can put on it.
Yeah, I have one now. My Afterglow uses a wireless, USB dongle. So I just plug into the device I want to use, and I have a wireless headset. So I can actually put this in a USB port on the back of the damn base of the Switch, and it will work. Now, it will work when it's docked, of course. Maybe. I'm not sure how they have their wired or whatever. Of course, it's not going to work when the thing is undocked. But at the same time, to me, they chose a practical route that will work for everyone. Hey, it's not Bluetooth headsets, but guess what? We have a headset jack.
Yep.
And you can plug your shit in. And come on, if you're playing it tabletop mode, I will hope you're not 15 feet away because you can't see the fucking screen.
Exactly.
And if you are playing it off, handheld mode, you're holding it 2 feet away from your face. You don't need Bluetooth headsets for that.
That's exactly what I've been saying. If you need Bluetooth, if you're playing a game and it's in your hands and you need some shit in your ear that's wireless, I don't know what to say to you. You have deeper issues than what you're gaming on. I'm sorry.
Well, people just like to complain about everything.
You're right.
You're right. They like to complain, but it's but give me a real reason why this is a hindrance to you. That's all. To me, I don't think that people shouldn't be complaining. If you have an issue with something, it's your right to complain. If it affects you directly, then I can understand your complaint. But give me a real reason why this is a hindrance to you. Now, you tell me, well, I always go wireless, and they go wireless. It's like, well, guess what? We don't know everything about the system, but do you go wireless with your 3DS? Fuck no. Do you go wireless with your PS Vita? No, you don't.
Well, the thing is look. I don't really care if someone. I don't care if someone doesn't like. I mean, I don't care how someone feels about, the wireless issue. It's just like, okay, if it really bothers you that much, I'm sure that.
At this point.
Yeah, I mean, if it bothers you that much, I'm sure they'll come out in a little bit with some alternative, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's in your hand, and if it's on your TV. I mean, if it's going through your TV, there are TVs now where you can have a Bluetooth headset thing on your TV. If you have a smart TV, you can sync that shit with your smart TV. So, I mean, if you really must have Bluetooth while you're playing it and you don't want people to know what you're playing, you can sync it to your TV and then just play it on the TV mode. It's the same thing. If you want to carry it around, it's going to be in your hand. So why do you need Bluetooth anyway? So it's like you're making a non-argument argument,
Exactly. So to me, at this point, if you're bitching about that, you're just grasping for straws. You're just trying to come up with some reason as to so you can tell your fans, your subscribers, why you're not going to buy it. And if you are not going to buy a game system, a dedicated gaming console, because it doesn't support Bluetooth headsets, you're not a gamer in the first damn place. I'm going to just say it. I'm just going to put it out there. If you choose not to buy a system because it'll support your preferred method of headsets, I hate to say this, but you're not a gamer to me.
You know what? I'm gonna take a page from GVGINU's book. Look, if that's precluding you from buying a system, and not just the Switch, any system, does it support Blu-ray? Then F you, okay? Because that's a completely look. Listen, I'll tell you what's grounds not to buy a system. It has games that are unimaginative and reiterations of shit that you have on last-gen systems. It's not backwards compatible. It's extremely expensive compared to what you're getting out of the system. It has consumer practices which aren't fair or equitable to consumers. But, I mean, those are things where I'd say I'm not going to buy that system. I'm not going to put my money behind it. But Bluetooth? Really? Seriously? Jesus.
Apparently, some people care about it. Me, I don't. I just want the games to work. I want them to be fun, imaginative. I want them to have worlds I wish I could see in real life. I just want them to have experiences that I will never forget.
You know what? I just thought about it not having Bluetooth, but those are probably the same people that were complaining that voice chat is connected to an app.
Yeah.
They have Bluetooth. Wouldn't they for their phone already?
That is true.
That's true.
Still, maybe that's why it's connected to an app.
But see, another thing that you mentioned is this. This keeps Nintendo from having to, basically take on that cost up front of implementing that into the system itself. Because people think that, oh, you can do this. If it's so simple, won't you build your own damn console then? If it's so cheap, I've actually heard someone say, I'm not making this shit up, guys. I've actually seen someone on Twitter say, it should be easy for Nintendo to implement this GPU. They only cost about $180. They can probably get it for $150 a piece if they buy them in bulk. I'm like, if it's that simple, buy yourself a Switch, open it up, and replace it. Let's see if it plays your games. If it's that simple, why don't you do it? Just because you watch an instructional video on YouTube on how to build your own PCs does not make you a person that is qualified to tell others what a company can and cannot do as far as technology. You're not certified in shit, but running your damn mouth.
Just because you know how to build your own PC doesn't mean you know that much about computers.
Yeah, I mean that kind of reminds me of when people were like, "Oh, well, Nintendo with the Nintendo the NES the NES Mini." They were like, "Well, they should have made it so that you could connect with the virtual console and download games." Well, I mean, what the NES Mini was $16, $60, right?
Yeah.
$60 came with a controller and a wired controller, all that stuff, and something to hook into your TV and all that fun jazz. Okay, came with all of that. If they had included memory, and had a thing so that it could hook up to the internet, that would have raised it from being $60, which is kind of a hefty price for a mini console. People don't know this, but you can go to Walmart and Target and get a Sega mini console for like $30. So first of all, Nintendo's already kind of pushing it to $60, but that would have raised it to $80, $100. Then it goes from being an impulse buy. I'm going to pick up an NES Mini to like, I'm going to have to pick up an NES Mini. I mean, like, people don't think about how much money they have to spend on stuff. I mean,
people don't even.
Oh, it's your Xbox. Everything should be free.
Like everything in the console costs.
Why
Like,
pay for anything? Exactly. No, she says it right. Why pay?
Everything should be
Just
free.
give it to me, damn it.
Yeah, I deserve to have it because I exist. Just
Exactly.
give it to me.
But you know
I
what?
don't have to.
Dude, see, you totally get it.
But see, I don't even build computers. Let me say this: if you don't realize it, people, everything they put into a console, even a computer, it costs money. For example, people saying, "Well, I don't know why we didn't support USB 3.0." Because do you know who owns the USB, license or whatever? They have to pay for that shit. They have to pay for the rights to use that and install it in their console. And depending on which one they want to install, determines how much they have to pay for it. You see it as, oh, well, swap out USB 2.0 and put in USB 3.0. What if Nintendo went to the people that own USB for the license?
You got to pay that fee. Yep.
And they said, well, for USB 2.0, you want to see your console, it's going to cost you $1.50 per unit per
It's
console.
like Blu-ray.
or
It's the
even
same concept. Nintendo didn't go with Blu-ray because guess who owns Blu-ray?
LG and Sony.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
and that means you got to pay Sony and
It's a
LG
consortium,
every single time to make a game.
It's a consortium of like LG, Sony, and I think Panasonic. But I mean, regardless, that's the thing people don't understand. Like, everyone's like, well, like, I hear these Xbox fanboys, man, Xbox is coming back. Look, it doesn't matter. Look, between the price cuts and the fact that they have to give a cut of every unit of an Xbox One they sell because it has a Blu-ray player in it to that conglomerate, they're just pissing away money with the Xbox.
And
it's
then
actually kind of ridiculous.
I keep hearing people say, "Well, the Wii U uses the Blu-ray." I said, "No, it doesn't."
Nope.
I say it's actually a new
It's a
tech
comparative.
derived from HD DVD. It uses nothing from Blu-ray.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
comparable
derivative.
technology. That's all it is.
It's a parallel technology, but it's not Blu-ray. No.
And then I've even gone so far as to mention, and you guys know this, but when it came to the Wii, people were like, it doesn't even have a DVD player, but it plays DVDs. I said, because Nintendo even said by getting rid of that access, the feature to play movies in the system, it saved them $5 per console.
Yep.
They sold 100 million, guys. That's $500 million they saved just by saying, we won't allow you to watch DVDs in our console.
Yep.
That's a license that they
If we said $500 million, what did you do?
Now I will be honest though. Would it be cool for Nintendo to if Nintendo had fully embraced digital media, like have a media player and go the route? But here's the thing. In the rise of Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming services, being able to play digital media doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Because think about it. When Nintendo,
It's every freaking where.
yeah, when Nintendo finally fucking drops, or whoever, they work out their partnership with Netflix or Hulu or whoever, and they get streaming on the Switch. Like, it's not gonna matter because you'll be able to stream your shit, and look, okay, you pay $15 a month or $10 or whatever. You pay a small flat fee every month, and you get access to thousands hundreds of thousands of titles, TV shows, movies, all that type of stuff. Or I can pay $10 and get one DVD, $20 and get one Blu-ray. Think about it. I mean, it's...
Well, that is ultimately the future. Is think about it. You don't have to... Okay, the upfront cost for, paying for servers, that's going to be a heck of a lot. But think about it. You don't have to worry about R&D for expensive hardware, and you won't notice, aside from graphical improvements to maybe certain games, you won't notice like them working on the servers or whatnot. So the ultimate convenience would be having a console which streams everything, and you play a flat rate and you get access to, you know, a library of games.
I don't see that happening because people wanna feel like they own stuff. So you're never gonna see. You're never.
It's not gonna happen for a while for various reasons.
Not even for a while. There's always gonna be a market for people wanting physical media. And here's the thing. The reason I say this is, first of all, there's always going to be people who want physical media. Plus, and here's what all these third parties don't seem to understand. A lot of people, their entryway into getting new games is that they trade in their old ones. Okay, and sometimes that actually does count. That counts as a sale. That's money going to the retailer. So, like a lot of these games that sell like 75 million, someone traded in their old shit to get new shit. And I mean, you can't trade in a code. You can't trade in code. What you can do is trade in physical media. So, I mean, I think there's always going to be physical media. There's always going to be a market for that. Although digital media is obviously going to get bigger, but I mean, you're not going to see anyone go purely digital. And I'll tell you right now, the company that goes purely digital first, in a way, if they don't do it correctly, they're not going to be in the industry for very long.
Nope,
not for gaming. For gaming,
it's the main reason why Netflix still offers DVDs. Of course, most of their customers are streaming only, but there are people that live out in the sticks where internet is trash, which is most of rural America. That hey, DVDs is only for them to enjoy different stuff, and so it still sells. The day they get rid of that, they probably lose a good 10 to 20% of their customer base, at least, just based on that. And streaming is something that's not indefinite, because if you think you have the cable.
I can barely hear you, Doc.
Okay, good. I was worried if it was my connection.
Yeah, I was.
Can you hear me now?
Wondering myself.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. But when it comes to streaming, this shit's not consistent. A show can be on in January and then it's gone in March. And by the time you get around to looking at it, you've lost it. So I agree with you, Red Fox. There's no point, at least not now, for a while, that if someone's going to go completely digital and just forget about physical medium whatsoever, because it will be detrimental.
Well, here's the thing. You can streaming movies. Okay, fair enough. You can do that. I mean, they could get around that by letting you maybe download something with a tag on it that says you have this download for 3 days or a week or whatever. And then after that week, it just automatically gets deleted. So even if you have kind of a shitty connection, when you get someplace where you do have a stable connection, you can download it, you know, to a device or whatever, to a pad or to a tablet or something like that, and then watch it. But with video games, you're talking about you need to be able to like either one or two things are going to happen. If it's streaming it to the device with no storage going on, you're going to need a better internet connection in America than we have now. Which the only places that I know of that have internet connections that are that good are places
How
that basically.
How dare you? America has the best connection, you unpatriotic bastard.
Bullshit. You're gonna have to go someplace that from the ground up. Basically has a really good infrastructure for that type of thing. The thing is that that's not here in America. It's like this hybrid patchwork bullshit thing. Now, if you live in the city, you're okay. If you live in the sticks or in some suburbs, you don't. So, I mean, it's very impractical for the American market. Same thing in Europe. There's certain places in Europe that have really great internet. There are other places that have garbage. So you can't really do it there. Now, there are places in Japan where, you know, this is a viable market, but not really. Now, if you're
trying to move to South Korea, everyone.
Well, even there, that's only in the cities. There are other places in South Korea where they have garbage internet too. So, I mean, literally, the only way I could see it working viably is if they downloaded the game digitally to a storage device. But with games continuously to get bigger and bigger and more bloated, you'd have to have like a you'd have to have like a 5 terabyte hard drive just to play your damn games, and then it would still make that unit really expensive. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't type thing.
Let's be real. If the game doesn't have like a petabyte system, this is pointless. You need 1 million gigabytes to be a gamer. Let's be real.
Well, okay, look, let's keep it real. Games are just getting bigger nowadays, okay? Even games that are kind of a bargain. Like, I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 because, you get 2 games for the price of 1. That's a pretty awesome deal. The problem is that it's 32.8 gigs. And the internal storage that's on the Switch is 32 gigs, and 8 gigs of that is probably more by the time they download all the shit to make the thing a complete system. Is going to be like, that's not going to be enough room. You're going to have more space, and that's just, that's one of the problems of gaming nowadays is that you're going to need more storage. Fortunately, a lot of systems, just recently, the PS4 lets you just hook up an external hard drive and you're set. But for people who don't have that luxury, space is an issue for these games, and it's sad. But what are you gonna do?
Well, anyone else before we shut down?
Well, apparently people are complaining about the Joy-Cons.
Oh, yeah. We'll discuss that after the cast, because even Game Explained already said that essentially what it was, it seems to be that, and to me, it reminded me of the Wii U gamepad. If you put your forearm in front of the Wii U gamepad, even when you're just like in front of the television, that bitch will tell you that it lost connection.
Yeah.
Because you're blocking the Bluetooth streaming device in the gamepad from reaching the console and vice versa.
Now, it was like this when the PlayStation 4 came out and people were giving the PlayStation 4 bad reviews because of some faulty some bad apples that came off the tree.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to sign out.
The best chips.
Well,
I'm gonna have to sign out, guys, because Max is begging to go outside.
all right, we're about to end it here anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead,
A real gamer talks regardless of their dog barking and wanting to go outside. I'm just 20 years old.
Oh Lord.
We'll go ahead and give you the outro, man.
All right. Well, pretty much, thank you for your time listening to this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and be able to walk away with something like insightful from it. And
check out the Gamers at Large tomorrow, you bastards. Oh, sorry, I have to say it.
Okay, most definitely, go to the Gamers at Large podcast when we get it this Sunday. Okay?
That's right.
All right.
And yeah, pretty much whatever's clever.
All right, man.
That was clever.
And go ahead, Kenoshi.
Oh, this is Kanashi Abamanita here to say that no one had any glasses of orange juice here today. And,
Look, can we
next time.
Can we leave orange juice alone? We can only have so much citrus.
go, Shepard, go before Google drops you again? Did Google drop you anyway?
No,
Give your outro.
you said it as I took a bite of the jalapeno chips, which is delicious. Jalapeno chips is the bomb. Oh, my outro. That's right. Gaming is the best. Life is the best. Live, learn, grow. I'm sad that certain people didn't show up, but it is what it is. Okay, cool. I'm done.
And Andre?
Oh, and drinking is bad for you.
Great guest today. Wish the talk was fantastic, and definitely these guys. I'm sorry about that. Caught up in a too man.
You're cutting out.
We're game. Continue to game. You okay?
Can y'all hear him? I think he's cutting out.
No, he's cutting out.
It's cutting out.
Oh man.
Now we can hear you.
We're cool now.
All right. Basically, what I was saying is that what we're all looking to do is game. So keep gaming.
All right.
How dare you, sir? No, I'm joking. I'm the last one, so I'll dive in. This is Mr. Red Fox. I'm contemplating moving my podcast to this evening. I know I normally do every Saturday, but I got some other videos I got to get out, and I'll just move it for my Switch extravaganza next week because it's coming out next week, next Friday. So the day after that, I'll be doing a podcast about.
Bro, who cares about Switch? Get your shit together.
I'll be doing a podcast about the Nintendo Switch. I was going to talk about mini consoles and that type of thing, but why the hell not? We'll talk about the Switch next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be fun. I invite anyone who has a Switch to come join that podcast because we'll be talking about it. Good, bad, ugly, what we like, what we don't like, what we want the console to morph into, because let's keep it real. No console at launch is what it's going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. So look forward to that, and that's it.
All right. And I'm DrFeelGood. I want to thank you guys for coming. I wish Triforce and CNE would have had a chance to come, but last time I checked with Gilligan, they were still actually editing their blog video for today. So maybe next time. But I hope Google actually recorded this damn Hangout because I don't think it did. It shows we're live, but on my page, it doesn't show anything. And this has happened once before, so I hope this wasn't a gigantic waste of time.
Well, YouTube shows it's live. My Hangouts shows it's not live at all. But my Hangouts has been crap. I've been kicked out 14 times now, 15 times.
Yeah, but anyway, as I said, thanks for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for coming. And I will be having probably 2 more podcasts this week. Of course, one is going to be the day or the night before the Switch launch. So be on the lookout for that. And as I always say, keep it gaming.
Hurry up. I gotta watch Ruby. Come on.